Hey guys, these are your notes for 9/18 on Friday. We're going to be talking about the question, can energy be created or destroyed? So we've been talking about carbon this week, carbon dioxide, water, glucose, oxygen. So basically the inputs and outputs of photosynthesis and how that moves through an ecosystem. So while those things are moving through an ecosystem, we also have energy that's moving too. So you could consider the food we eat giving us energy, and then plants also make their own food, so they make their own energy as well. So we're going to talking about if that can be created or destroyed or not. And so we're going to start by kind of walking through cellular respiration and photosynthesis in this picture over here. So we talked about photosynthesis this week, and we know that sunlight is able to help plants make their food. So the plants actually absorb the sunlight, and with that sunlight, they make glucose, which is the C6H12O6 right here, and oxygen, okay? And then things like animals and humans, we take in that oxygen and glucose from the plant, and we take that in as food and air, obviously. In turn there, we are able to then use what's called ATP, which is just another name for energy. We're able to use it and make it to carry out everyday activities, and then we release water and carbon dioxide. So throughout this whole process, we are seeing carbon, which are these C's, flow through an ecosystem, and we're also watching energy flow through an ecosystem. So that's a picture of photosynthesis and cellular respiration. I want you to turn your attention over to this picture. This is the chemical equation for photosynthesis and cellular respiration. We've talked about this earlier in the week, but this is really going to hit home and prove to you that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transferred. Okay, so this is something I do want you to write in your notebook or remember it. When we're doing these notes, I would like you to write them in your notebook. You definitely have to know this. It's something that is a must. So energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transferred. Okay, so when we're looking at this picture, we're seeing that the energy is transferred from glucose and oxygen to water, carbon dioxide, and it kind of makes this cycling of carbon. And then this is, like I said, this is a chemical equation for photosynthesis and cellular respiration. If you notice, I have 6 carbon dioxides and 6 waters in energy that go into photosynthesis. So you can consider this light energy, like the sun. And it makes 1 glucose and 6 oxygen molecules. Okay, that it's going to use the glucose for food and release the oxygen into the air as a waste product for us to use. Cellular respiration is the exact opposite, okay? It uses the glucose, so the food we eat. It also uses the oxygen, which we breathe in the oxygen, and it makes 6 carbon dioxides, 6 waters, and energy that we can use for everyday activities. So if you notice, this 6 CO2 is the same 6 CO2 that's down here. This 6 H2O or 6 water is the same as this 6 water down here. We have energy, glucose, oxygen, and oxygen. Okay, so none of this stuff goes away. You notice none of these numbers change. They're the same throughout. Okay, so what we put into photosynthesis, we get out in cellular respiration, and it's kind of one big cycle of cycling of carbon and other molecules.